This guy right here, now these are his sermons from 1710 and 1717, and you'll find that by 1680, and he's a preacher in Massachusetts, you'll find by 1680, he had looked through the Bible and he preaches a sermon where, well, looking at government in the Bible, it's very clear that God's preferred form of government is the consent of the governed. I think I've heard that phrase before. He looks through here and he says...
This was when?
This is 1680s.
So this is 100 years before.
1680s.
And he's already talking about consent of the governed. Okay.
And 100 years before, he says, you know, there is a creator, and he's created all men equal. And he's given them all the same set of rights.
Wow.
1680s. And he goes and he says, when you look at what the Bible says about taxation, it is very clear that taxation without representation is tyranny.
No kidding.
Right here.
So this is, I mean, when we say seeds of liberty, he was literally planting 100 years before what would bear fruit.
That's it. Well,
in our founding document.
Let me show you how significant this was, because he did this in 1680s. Tell me what the date of publication of that is right down there.
Oh, I have to read Roman numerals. This is going to be difficult. Okay, so this is 17...
72.
Is it 72? I was going to say 52, so that's 72. Okay, so 17... So the founders then, in their era...
You know who the Sons of Liberty are?
Yeah.
All right. Who are the great Sons of Liberty?
So that was Sam Adams started it, right?
Sam Adams and John Hancock and James Otis and all those guys' sons. They're the ones who
reprinted his sermons
and distributed across America, so Americans would know how to think going into this conflict.
Okay, so wait, so these are sermons preached 100 years before the Declaration. The founders themselves reprinted his sermons,
Sons of Liberty,
to help educate their generation,
to get them thinking on right principles.
So okay, this gives me great hope, because that means if they did it, if they could do this 200 and whatever years ago, reprint, re-educate, bring these things back to light, then we can do the same thing today.
Absolutely.
We bring these documents out. We
That's
educate
right.
a generation. They come back to these principles. We bring them.
And remember that principle number one, and it's demonstrated through here, but principle number one of the Declaration, there is a Creator. And if you don't recognize the Creator, then you got trouble. Now, this is the other thing we get today. Founding Fathers, atheist, agnostic, deist. Really? You know, let me take something right here.